We are, or we have, I should say, assisted living facilities and skilled nursing facilities. So we typically work with the elderly population and we provide daily assistance for them, whether that means helping them with their eating, with walking, bathing, just your day-to-day activities that you may possibly be helping with your own loved ones as well, maybe a grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, mom or dad, whatever the case may be. We're in the business of really providing a positive impact for the elderly population. And so today, Jessica and myself will talk a lot more about two specific opportunities that we have available. One of them will be our nursing assistant in training program, which I can explain a little bit more. Then also our certified nursing assistant position that we have available, or our CNA position that we have available. Now we're located all over Minnesota. We have about 40 or so different facilities. For me specifically, I'm more so in charge of Metro Minnesota, and then also a little bit down south as well. So some of the cities that we have facilities in would include St. Paul, Minneapolis, Roseville, Bloomington, St. Louis Park, Fridley, Anoka, Stillwater. And then also, as I said, I am in charge of some of our southern facilities. So we do have facilities in Mankato as well. And then Jessica can talk a little bit more about her region.
Yes, so I'm in charge of the north, as far north as Virginia, Minnesota, Evelyn, Minnesota, Two Harbors, Duluth, Superior up there, as well as the north branch of the cities like Rush City up in that area. I'm also in charge of West Minnesota, so Winstead, Minnesota, Delano, Excelsior, that area, and then also Faribault. So I'm kind of northeast and south.
All right, and I'm more so the metro area and then a little bit down south. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because there is a very good chance that we will have a facility close to where you are at, no matter where you are, or depending on wherever you go off to college. If you stay in state in the state of Minnesota, there's a good chance that we will have a facility nearby, which would be a great way for you to build up that resume and gain some good working experience while going to school. But we can talk a little bit about that down the road here.
So I will pull up our PowerPoint and I will share our screen with you. One moment.
Just go to shares.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Here we go.
All right, can everybody see the PowerPoint? If you can just nod your head, if you can. Okay, perfect. Okay, we just wanted to make sure that you can see this here. So just a little bit more about what we will talk about today. We'll talk about our CNA program, or CNA position, and then also our nursing assistant in training program, also known as our NAT program. So just a little bit more of what we'll talk about. Again, we'll talk a little bit more about Monarch and what we are. I kind of already went over this a little bit, but our locations as well. What does it mean to be a CNA, especially working at Monarch? Some hands-on training, working as a CNA and as a nursing assistant in training. And then at the very end, we'll open it up to questions from you all. I'm sure you'll have many, many questions, and that's why we're here to hopefully answer all of your questions that you do have.
Okay.
So what is Monarch? So Monarch started in 2015. So we're actually a very new company. We're only 5 years old. We started with a handful of facilities down in Mankato, Minnesota. That's actually where our corporate office is located. Now, both Jessica and I, we're actually located in Roseville, Minnesota. So we kind of work for our Metro HR team, corporate team, but our main headquarters, I said, we started with a handful of facilities back in 2015. Fast forward to 2020, 5 years later, we have a little over 40 facilities. So we are definitely growing very rapidly, and that's why we're very eager to talk with all of you, because we understand how fast-paced this industry is growing, and we're always eager to have very just to have people who are very energetic and very passionate about working in this industry. So again, thank you for having us. Now, our mission is to kind of change the way people think about long-term care and also short-term care. Unfortunately, when people think of a nursing home or a long-term care facility, there is just a negative stigma or negative opinions about that industry. And at Monarch, we definitely want to change how people think about that. We understand that working in healthcare is hard and it is stressful, but also at the same time, it's very rewarding, because you really get to make and see the positive impacts that you are making on the lives of the people that we take care of. So again, we're always looking to find individuals who are passionate about taking care of others and really just get up each and every single day knowing the fact that they can put a smile on someone's face. So that's just a little bit more about Monarch and why we're in this industry here. So, as I had mentioned before, we're located kind of all over the place. I'm not sure how well you can see that slide right there, but as I said, we're located as far north as Duluth, as far south as Mankato, and kind of everywhere in between. And so there's, again, a good chance that we will have a facility close to where you live. For today's presentation, we'll talk a little bit more about the CNA position, and then also the nursing assistant in training position, which I think would be a great position, especially for you all, the students today. It's a great way to obtain your certificate to work as a nursing assistant if you would like to pursue a career in healthcare. Even if you don't necessarily want to become a nurse in the future, just having that certificate as a nursing assistant will open up many, many employment opportunities and many, many different doors if you would like to consider a career in healthcare. So definitely a great opportunity. All right, so a CNA. Some of you may know what a CNA is, some of you may not, but a CNA stands for a Certified Nursing Assistant. So to kind of simply put it, becoming a CNA or being a CNA, you are kind of the face of the company, really. You are the person who is constantly spending time with our residents and providing assistance on a day-to-day basis, whether that's with, again, with eating, with dressing, grooming, bathing, whatever the case may be, you are there to assist the residents. You'll also be working with our nurses as well, our licensed practical nurses, also called LPNs, or our registered nurses, also called RNs. So the nursing assistants, along with the nurses, will be working together as a collaborative team to make sure that you're able to really provide the best support possible for our residents. So it's definitely a rewarding job, and you can definitely build up a lot of great experience. And even if you find out that nursing isn't what you want to do or healthcare isn't what you want to do, just becoming a CNA will provide you with so many great life skills. Just being able to collaborate with one another, multitasking, really being able to think critically and being able to think right away, just be on your feet, and just being able to really just develop those soft skills is very important as you move forward in life. So again, even if you don't want to become a CNA, working as a CNA will still be able to have you develop all those great skills. All right. So here I can talk a little bit more about our nursing assistant in training program, which I think would be a great program for all of you. So our nursing assistant in training program, the way it works is it's typically about 2 months, give or take. The reason why I say about 2 months or typically 2 months long is because The schedule is dependent on one of our instructors. Now we have about 8 or so instructors throughout Minnesota, depending on what region you are. And those instructors will kind of make up their own schedule. So usually, again, it's about 2 months long, 3 to 4 days out of the week. We can be flexible in regards to what time of the day those classes will be. So we understand that if the majority of our students in the classroom are, say, high school students, obviously you're not able to join a morning class because you'll actually be in normal school. So with that, we do have classes offered in the evenings as well. So our morning classes are typically from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then our evening classes are typically from 4 to 5 p.m. to 8 to 9 p.m. So again, we can be flexible with your schedule outside of school. So we can definitely work with you there. So like I said, it's about 3 to 4 days a week, 2 months long or so. When you're in the classroom, you'll be able to gain all the skills and all the knowledge that you need to become a certified nursing assistant. So we do have something called a 16-hour competency where that usually takes about 3 or 4 class periods, usually about 4 class periods, where you'll be able to actually gain some really good skills in regards to becoming a CNA. And then after you finish your competencies, you'll then have the opportunity to actually use those skills that you've learned in a real world setting. So by that, I mean, you'll be able to actually shadow a certified nursing assistant at the facility that you would like to work at. And you'll actually be able to utilize all that book knowledge and all of the skills that you've learned in the classroom in a real world setting at one of our facilities. So it's a great way to utilize everything that you've learned and start building up those skills there. Now, after you finish the classes and the clinicals of the program, you'll then be able to register to take your state certified nursing assistant test. Now, the best thing about this program is that it's all free of charge. So Monarch will actually pay for all the books, all the supplies, and also test fees as well. So it's a really great program for you to really get into just the nursing assistant career. And it's a great way to see if this may be something that you would want to pursue, maybe after high school into college, if you want to become a nurse. Or I know a lot of occupational therapists or physical therapists, they have their CNA certificate. So again, just because you don't want to become a nurse does not mean that you don't have to become a nursing assistant. It will open up so many opportunities for you in the future if you do want to stay in healthcare. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty much the nursing assistant training program there. It's a great way. It's a great stepping stone, so to speak, to kind of get your feet wet and really gain some great exposure and gain some great experience in healthcare. And then after you complete the course or program, you can then work as a certified nursing assistant. So as a CNA, I kind of already talked about some of the duties and what you would be helping with, but just to kind of summarize it again, you'll be helping the residents with many different tasks, and you'll be working with our nurses to make sure that those tasks are completed efficiently and effectively for all of our residents. So definitely a great program for those who are interested in working as a CNA.
And I just want to touch on, Dean mentioned how this is a great stepping stone. If you are interested in going into nursing, to be a nurse, you have to have so many patient contact hours. It's part of your graduation. And so getting that started in high school is a great way to gain those contact hours. Even if you're not going into nursing, if you feel like maybe you want to be more of the healthcare administrative side of it, it's great experience to have patient contact hours and to know that you're leading people who are working with patients and having that general understanding of what their job is like, so you can better lead them further down the line. The great thing about Monarch is we have a alliance with Rasmussen College, who is also spread out along Minnesota. So if you work for Monarch, you get 20% off tuition there, which is a great deal. They have a nursing program. They have a bunch of programs if you're interested. So we do have scholarship opportunities within Monarch.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's just a lot of things about this program and about Monarch in general that could really help you out in your future, because we would love if you stayed a CNA all the time for however many years, but this is definitely better as a stepping stone into something further.
Yes, exactly.
So
I guess we'll kind of leave it up to questions now. Does anyone here have any questions at all about anything that we talked about?
here, let me open up the chat.
Yeah, so students, what we're going to do is, because we have so many people that are in this course right now, is just type your questions again into the chat if you've joined us before on these calls. And then I'll read those off to Dean and Jessica. And then either one of you can answer or both of you have different answers. Definitely feel free to add in whatever you feel. I will say I do really like the opportunity that your CNAs can get on-the-hand training experience with mental health first aid. And students, for those of you that don't know, a lot of times if you get this mental health and first aid training and you're up to date on that training and you're looking for another job, more times than not, you're going to be making more money having that training as well. So there's a lot of really good opportunities within that. And it looks like we have some questions already coming through here. So the first one I got for Dean and Jessica here is, what should we expect on the exam portion to receive the CNA certificate?
That is a very good question. And unfortunately, myself and Jessica, we don't exactly know what will be on the exam just because we are both not nurses or nursing assistants. But what I can tell you is that the CNA exam is split into two different portions. There is a skills portion and there is a written portion. So the written portion would be a lot of the book work, so to speak, a lot of the knowledge that you'll be able to gain from our instructor. And then the skills portion is will be based off of a lot of the hands-on work that you will be exposed to. So I kind of mentioned a little bit more about the 16-hour competencies. Well, when you complete those competencies, the majority of those competencies, if not all of those competencies, you may be tested on when you actually take your exam. So when you complete those competencies, and then when you see those same competencies or same skills when you take your exam, you'll be fully prepared because you have done it in the past already. So unfortunately, I don't know exactly what the questions may look like, but I do know that, again, the test will be split into two portions, a written portion and a skills portion, and you will have to pass both portions in order to become a CNA in the state of Minnesota. So, but good question.
Yeah, and I will say too that because I do work with teachers that administer that test, that a lot of the times the questions can change year after year too. So it's not like it's always going to be the same questions or the same test every time you take it. And then you will, like they had mentioned before, that you'll be taking a proctored exam at a college campus, which means that there's going to be somebody in the room with you as you're taking the test. So it's very similar if those of you have taken the ACT already. You go into a classroom, they give you the test, and then you take the test in front of somebody. Very similar with the skills as well, but you have the time to work on all of those different pieces within that test.
Perfect.
Let's see, we have one here that's a little bit, well, two of them, I guess, that are about the same. But what's the minimum age in order to become a CNA with Monarch?
Oh, sure. Great question. So our age requirement to become a CNA at Monarch would be 16 years old. So if you are 16 years and older, you can apply for any positions at Monarch. If you're under the age of 16, unfortunately, per our policy, we would not be able to consider you, but that does not mean that you wouldn't be able to work for us, or I guess I should say you wouldn't be able to get any experience. We do have volunteer experience that you may be able to qualify for, but for any employment opportunities, 16 years and older is is what we could do.
And kind of like what Dean said about volunteer opportunities too, if you aren't 16 yet, I'd highly recommend looking at seeing if you could do anything over there for volunteer work. Even if you can work something out that it's only a couple hours every week or two, pretty minimal, but enough that you can keep adding to that resume or start adding to that resume. So then when you go to apply for CNA positions, you're more likely to get looked at, especially if it's within Monarch and you've already volunteered for them before.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, what other jobs do you know of that can branch off of the CNA? I know you mentioned a little bit earlier about occupational therapy and physical therapy, but are there others that you know of?
I would say there are so many, there's not really like a number. You could go RN and you can go down the clinical side into even going to med school, biology research, that kind of stuff. Just having that background of patient experience is great. For me, I went into healthcare administration, and there were a lot of my classmates that did so well having patient experience, and just having that on a resume, because you can better understand the industry you work in. So I would say there's pretty much any job, because you gain so many people skills and critical thinking and problem solving and things like that that are applicable almost to any job.
Oh, that's great. How about with the trainings right now and with COVID? Are you doing any of the trainings, or are there parts of those trainings that are going online? How is that being handled?
Sure. Yeah, really good question. Yes, with COVID right now, I'm sure as you all know, and we know as well, it's definitely taken an impact, especially in our industry, in the long-term care, the senior care industry. And so as of right now, we are doing training. We do have these nursing assistant in training programs available. We did have to put them on a slight hold earlier in the summer, but they are slowly but surely getting back to normal. Normally, our class sizes, we can have up to 10 students per classroom, but due to COVID and just for safety reasons, our class sizes are at a maximum of 5 students. But we are still able to have classes. We can still have classes for about 2 months, 3 to 4 days out of the week. All of that is still the same. You'll still be able to gain all the skills. You'll still be able to shadow as well, shadow a CNA, so that you can gain that real world exposure. So for the most part, our program is still the same with some slight tweaks here and there, some slight changes, but training is still going on. And I believe there was another part to that question. Are they doing parts of it online? So at this moment, nothing is online. Everything is in person. If things, depending on what happens with COVID in the near future, if we need to put some of our resources online, we will do so. But at this moment, it is still all in person.
Awesome, thanks. And then there's a couple of questions that are pretty similar here too, but I'll just kind of take it from the Monarch side of things. But how or where can you apply to work for Monarch? And more specifically, how can you apply for that NAT program?
Sure. So Jessica will kind of type in our address, but what you want to do is you would want to go to our website. It is just monarchmn.com here. I think Jessica did just type that in for everyone. So monarchmn.com, you'll be greeted by our homepage. You'll see a couple of videos that we have to offer, some testimonials about people who have enjoyed their time at Monarch. But what you want to do is at the top right corner, you'll see our careers tab. That's what you'll click on. When you click on our careers tab, you'll be greeted by a list of all of our available job postings for that specific day. And then what you can do is you can scroll down and choose any of the job postings that you feel as if you could be a good fit for. But for the nursing assistant in training program, what you want to do is you'll find a nursing assistant in training student is what the job title will be. And you'll just have to find what facility would be closest to you. So I guess I'm not entirely sure what region of Minnesota you are all from, but like I said, we do have facilities all over the state. So there's a good chance that there will be a facility nearby you. So what you can do is you can either filter by specific cities in Minnesota, or you can filter by a specific job title. So nursing assistant and training student, you'll see many different postings for that position depending on what facility you're interested in.
Yeah, so for example, if I was from the Duluth area, I would go onto the website, go to careers, and look at all of our job postings. And then I would see the one that says nursing assistant in training in Duluth, and I would apply for that position because that one's in my region.
Yes.
And if you guys have any questions, I put the link to our website in the chat, and then I also put my email address, and feel free to email me if you have any questions or any trouble. I can walk you through it, and I can send you directions and help you in any way that I can.
Yeah, that's great. And then students, I'll be sure that I post the website and then Jessica's email as well onto the Scrubs Online page too. So you can view that under the live Q&A folder for the CNA. So that'll be posted there as well. And then I do have 2 other questions that came into me. And I think this is a little bit more specifically about both of your jobs as recruiters, but what do you really like about working as a recruiter, and what do you really not like about working as a recruiter?
Great question. Great question. Yeah, I can go first. So I've been with Monarch for about a little over 2.5 years now. So I actually started out as a HR intern a few years ago, and I've been able to kind of progress with the company and kind of dive a little bit more into the realm of HR. So as a recruiter, what I really like about it and what I do kind of miss a little bit right now is going to different events, whether it's a college, a university, a local organization, whatever the case may be, and really meeting the community, really getting out there and really talking to individuals about employment opportunities at Monarch. I know all of us here at Monarch, we all have a passion for helping others. That's kind of why we're in the work that we're in. And so just really, for me anyways, getting out there and really getting to talk to people, just kind of hearing where they're coming from, their stories. We all have our own hardships, but we also all have our own success stories as well. And so just for me, knowing the fact that I can hopefully make a positive impact in the life of somebody who may be having some difficulties finding a job, if I know that I can really make that impact, positive impact, and hopefully get that person a job, that really puts a smile on my face. I know that may sound a little cheesy, but honestly, being a recruiter, we really do help others. That's kind of our job, is to get out there, find people jobs, and really provide the best people for our company. And at Monarch, we definitely want individuals who have that same mindset of really making a difference for our residents, and we want people who really have that same passion.
Yeah, and then I can go. So I'll give you a little bit of my background. I actually started working for Monarch back in May. I graduated from college from the U of M in Duluth in May, and so I got my first job here, and what I love about it is I love working with people. That's why I wanted to go into HR, and my degree from UMD in Duluth is business administration, but it's in healthcare management. So I really wanted to be in healthcare because I love that it's a very stable field. I'm always going to have a job. I like being in the industry of helping people. And so that's why I chose business in the area of healthcare. And then from there, I chose human resources, or otherwise known as HR, because I just love working with people. And for me, I know that my skills are not in the clinical aspect of things, but I still wanted to make a difference, and I still wanted to be in this line of work. So that's kind of why I chose this job, why I like it. I just like helping people and talking with people in general. One thing that's hard about this industry is that I would say that it has that negative connotation of people think like, I don't want to go into a nursing home, I don't want to do this and that, things like that. That's really hard, and that's why I love Monarch, because we're trying to change that connotation and make sure that we have a good atmosphere for our residents to be in, whether that's providing activities, entertainment, just quality care, quality food service, things like that. I would say that's why I like Monarch.
Yeah, and for me, in regards to what I like least about being a recruiter, or at least a recruiter for Monarch, I would say the most challenging thing about being a recruiter for Monarch is that in healthcare, it's always an ever-changing place of work. So things are always changing. There are always new laws being updated, and I mean, even this year is a perfect example with COVID. I mean, that greatly has impacted a lot of what I used to do. I'm not able to go to universities or different job fairs or local organizations due to COVID, and just for safety reasons. And so just really being flexible and really developing the skills of being flexible has been tough for me, but I think it's also been a great learning moment and a great time of growth for me personally. Just because I know that I've been able to develop better skills as a recruiter, and then also just as a human being in general. So I guess to kind of answer that question about what I like least about being a recruiter, it's just the fact that healthcare is always ever changing, and it definitely requires a lot of work and commitment, but it's also very rewarding at the same time.
Yeah, thank you both. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Students, do you have any other questions that we could add in for Dean or Jessica? Otherwise, if not, we will be done a little bit early here, which is always okay too.
Yeah, I mean, again, please feel free to reach out to Jessica, or I'll also type in my email address as well. That way, if you're not able to get a hold of Jessica, you can also reach out to me here. So let me just get that.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Apologize if I move the camera a little bit.
And I know all of our students are really coming from different areas across Minnesota too. So I think that between both of your two regions, I think that we should be able to cover most of the students that are in the program, which is great.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, and Monarch, again, it's definitely a great place to grow with. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but we can be very flexible in regards to scheduling, and we all know that you're all students, and we were once students ourselves, so we understand how stressful the life of a student can be, whether that's with schoolwork, if you have extracurricular activities, maybe you're in a club or sport, whatever the case may be. We understand how difficult that can be, and then also adding work as well. It's very challenging. So if you're looking for, occasional hours, part-time hours, or just weekend hours, or on call or a casual status, we can be accommodating if it works best for our facilities, and if it works well with your schedule, we'll definitely do what we can to have you at Monarch, because at the end of the day, we're all in the same boat here. We all work as one team at Monarch to make a positive difference in the lives of our residents. So whatever we have to do to keep you with us, we'll do what we can.
And if you want more of an insight as to what Monarch is, if we have a Facebook where you can look at pictures and videos that we take at our facilities. Mm-hmm. That might give you a better insight as if this is something that you want to do, or if you have any questions about the CNA role, the nursing assistant in training role, or our role, feel free to give us an email or shoot us an email with any questions. We're more than happy to answer those for you.
Yes, please.
Yeah, that's great. And students, like I said, I'll be putting this right into the CNA Live Q&A folder that we have online too. So both the monarchminnesota.com website, and then also both Dean and Jessica's email addresses as well. So if you have questions, feel free to reach out to them too. So, well, I am gonna say that it looks like there's no more questions coming in, so I think we're gonna end this call a little bit early. But Dean and Jessica, thank you both for taking the time to meet with the students today. I greatly appreciate it. I know our students do too, because they've been really looking towards getting connected with CNA careers. I know many of them are interested in that before they start off in whichever role they're gonna be in healthcare, whether they continue on with that CNA route or if they decide to go somewhere else. So this is a really, really great resource, I think, that we can continue to keep advertising and pushing forward with our Scrubs programming. So thank you both again very much.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you, thank you. And again, we're always here to answer any questions, and we're really excited to hopefully see some of your names come up in the near future. And we definitely want to provide the best support for you with whatever direction you may choose.
Yeah, that's great. And students, if you do end up getting a job with Monarch, tell them that you heard about it from Scrubs Online, and they'll know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you.
All right. Yep. Thank you, everybody, and have a great rest of your day.
Yes. Have a great day. Thank you.